Alright, I think it's better now. How are we, chat? How are we doing? How has the week been for you guys? What a fight for those who watched it. Fucking very close fight. I don't know if my payout's still fucked, but apparently it's gonna be reduced if the multi hits, but fuck, it is what it is. Percy. DX, Dario, I'm guessing. What's going on? Bencher. Christian. Perfect, JRA. Perfect. Alright, make sure you, if you still got a membership and wondering, make sure you do the, you register for the giveaway. Void, what's going on? Twisty. Show us the setup, bro. Let's see what you're in. 2 break even, 3-0. Not a good week, Bencher. But that's alright, you know. As long as you got the data for that, so you know what to avoid going forward, I think that's what matters. Caught the same as you this week. That's good. That's good, Voids. I'm probably going to call it a month. I'm up pretty nicely, so I think I'm done for this month, to be honest with you. Yeah, easy, JRA, easy. Intro is going on. Alright. Let's go through this. Once again, we're going to keep going through it. 18 on the personal, good week, that's good. How are you finding trading on the personal, Sticky? Do you prefer it? I feel like there's less let me show you a monthly piano. I'll show my monthly percentage. Weekend was alright, bro. I'm still getting a little bit better from that food poisoning. Alright, let's go through this. So this was one of the charts I found in markups and feedback. Straight off the bat, this is, I don't know why breaker structure is marked out as liquidity. Just put in the Forex chart, Twisty. But this would be obviously some form of structure break structure, change of character, whatever you want to look at. However you want to look at it. Yeah, look, that's also a good thing, Sticky, but try focus on the percentage and not how much like you're making. Like, for example, if you're up like $500 and be like, oh wow, it's $500 to me, you know, like don't get over emotional because of that. And it's very important to try focus on percentages. That's why I try to teach you guys, like, percentages are way more important. And, you know, looking at things from a risk to reward perspective rather than saying I made 5,000 here, I made 5,000 here. Like, when I talk to you guys, I try to teach the mindset, like percentages and risk to reward. That's what matters. That's where the consistency comes from. So just focus on that and you should be able to keep up that consistency. It's a lot easier on the personal as well because you don't have to worry about maximum drawdown. So this change of character, break structure, however you want to look at it. We're on a 15-minute here on EU. So just looking here, lower time frame order flow would have shifted here, right, to get this pullback. So at this point, what are we looking for? At this point in price, because we've just gotten our new low, right? Now we're having a pullback. In terms of what meets our criteria, honestly, the 15-minute zone that got marked up here is probably the only zone that meets our criteria. Would I try to look for counter trend at this point here, looking for counter trend trades looking up towards the 15-minute zone? Probably not, right? Probably not. So just call it change of character for the structure. Lower time frame order flow shift after the new 15-minute low. So lower time frame order flow shift after the 15-minute low. At that point, I'm not too interested in the counter trend continuations, since we are in middle of the leg, and also counter trend setups are low probability. So would prefer to be in it earlier if I was to take it. What I mean by that, you know, probably somewhere down here, if there was a lower time frame setup, then it would make a little bit more sense. But because we're all the way up here, nearly close to the middle of the leg, doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? So we'll just be focused on the 15-minute zone at this point. Focus will be on the 15-minute supply POI. In terms of this really isn't the inducement for me that I'd like. So we'd have to wait for inducement to develop on the zone to validate it. This doesn't really look like inducement, just looks like one leg down, right? So that's the thought process for that particular setup on EU. So second setup we're looking at, we're on the 1 minute. The only way I can really realistically consider the zone up here is if we look at swing structure. So I'm not really sure what this is. This can be valid inducement, I guess, as well as the imbalance. So these two here are fine. This I get rid of, add in the swing breaker structure. So add swing breaker structure, imbalance / inducement are okay to stay as they are. Entry confluences to the zone. Would I consider anything inside? From here, probably not, right? Because it looks like we failed to put in a new low, right? From these highs. So swing breaker structure, we have our pullback, and then we failed to put in a new low, right? We failed to put in a new low over here. So now that what looks to be an internal change of character, starting to head higher, which is nice. So you can validate this zone here and actually use it, but you just have to restructure the whole setup and go swing. So swing break of structure continuation. Would not prefer to look in total setup, since that high failed to put in a new low. So it doesn't matter what entry model you have here. Overall, lower probability, I probably wouldn't look at considering it because it failed to put in a new low, right? This high here, lower high, swing break structure, we have a pullback. This fails to put in a new low. This high becomes weak, so what's likely here? We're going to come up, sweep the high, and then we're going to come into this 1 minute supply POI here. Could be a nice 3 minute supply here as well, so you might want to check for that. Cycle your time frames. High become targeted. Here we will play into the swing high for a possible continuation to head down lower. What's going on, Felix? And why are we trading off this zone and not something over here? Because this high put in a new low, right? This is a protected high, put in a new low. That's why we're considering it. So just these two today, let it sink in. Take notes, even though I know no one's probably going to take notes. You see us scratching our asses. Focus on the shit that's not relevant, but you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. Conditions in trading. So saw so many times this week and last week, people trying to force trades when the market just isn't in a position to give you a setup. So let's talk about it. Most of the time, when you're looking to execute a trade, the conditions are important. You need to identify if the conditions are good to trade in the moment, or if it's better to come back later and save yourself a headache, right? Got a couple of examples that I want to show you guys as well. So for example, 2 weeks ago, the whole week was full of a range. If you guys remember that, we were failing to put a new highs and new lows on the 15-minute. We were failing to, we were playing in a tight range, right? Not really the most opportunity. If you skip that week, you would have come back the next week. Price would have still been in the same spot, right? So when it's like this, the best thing to do is just collect data. You know, if you want to backtest, you can backtest. Not really a point forward. Actually, no, you can forward test because it will show you that, you know, these conditions aren't really good and that your trade's a lower probability because price is just staying in the range. The price action is not clean. It's throwing a lot of wicks to the upside and to the downside. So not really a fun time, right? So you can either do that, or you know, just work on some other business on the side, right? You don't really have to trade every single bit of price action, especially when it's like that, yeah? And I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Let's just go here. So over here, right? Pretty shitty price action, staying stuck in the range. Not really a whole lot of new highs and new lows being put in. And this is pretty much a whole week of price action, right? It's not really what you want to see. You don't really want to be throwing a lot of trades into price action when it's like this, yeah? So you would also have noticed, if you guys have been watching the breakdowns, for the few people that have, and you know, actually if you want to, you know, make something of themselves and take this shit seriously, most of the setups for AUD USD come around Asia. Around, data says it's around 9, 10, 11, 12. So around that morning, first couple hours of Asia, for those that aren't in the country, that's where most of the setups come from, right? And it's very evident when, you know, New York has been corrective and slow for AUD USD, and then we start Asia, and then conditions start to pick up, right? And we start to get new structure. That's where the opportunity is. And most of the time, we're trying to look for trades when the move is happening or after the move. And there's a couple of problems with that, right? Price could be building up throughout New York, and you know, we could be ranging, and some of you just try to fucking force it. I don't know why. I don't know why you guys try to force it so bad. Some of you get on late, like you haven't been on the charts the whole day. You get on late, and then you try to just trade New York regardless of what the conditions are throwing at you. And then you complain about being stopped out when conditions have been shit and the move's already happened for the day. We've already got an impulse, and then you guys still try to trade when it's being corrective and we're getting correction. Like I really don't understand that logic. For example, can give you plenty of examples because I know I'm a price action. This one was really good on Friday. Okay. Let's drop it into the 3 minute. There's one specific example that I want to find. It was very specific because I saw a couple of people try to trade it. Might have been here actually. Yeah. So I traded this. I can comment on it because I actually traded the price action. I had the trade going on from down here. But anyway, people were complaining about Monday being shit to trade, right? But on Monday, it's 15 minutes on the low time frame, you know. Within these pullbacks, there would be some sort of opportunity. Big move up, right? Huge move up, right? So by the time this move finishes, it's 5 o'clock. So London opens over here. So then all the London people come on, or, you know, the people... Nah, not CPI. This was on Monday. But people come on, you know, waking up for London, or they're coming home after work. They haven't been on the charts all day. They'll try to trade and see this, and like I'll be like, oh yeah, let me look for some continuations. Even shorts wouldn't have gone anywhere for about a fucking day, right? Whole day. But the point is, we get our move, and then you still try to trade when price consolidates and corrects itself. And then there's like a million people trying to trade this over here, and they just neglect. They just neglect this, right? They don't wait for a valid setup to set up. So over here, obviously it's coming off a range and whatnot, but this 15 minutes still valid, right? It's still something you consider. We all saw it. I drew it up on Sunday the 10th of September. Everyone saw it, but for some reason everyone wants to come trade up here and look for longs up here for some reason. Remember, price does not move in a straight line. It moves in impulses and corrections. Alright? Clear as day. Impulse, correction, impulse. Now it's having another correction. Presumably, right? You guys are getting onto the fucking markets way too late. And just trying to trade the wrong times, like it's like you guys collect data but you don't even learn from your own data. And I've gone through that in the past as well, how to learn from it, how to interpret it. Like it doesn't, you don't even, somebody who doesn't collect data can see a pattern happen over and over again, right? You have this big impulse, and then price is giving you this, yeah? Just go back to your fundamentals. A lot of you don't even have fundamentals. 15 minute. Alright, cool. We've got on the breaker structure here. Is this not high in the leg? We've spoken about this in so many masterclasses before. This is high in the leg, is it not? So if you're looking for any sort of continuations from up here, this high in the leg, probably low probability, yeah? Because price is failing to put in, we've gotten a new high. We haven't had a correction yet. What do you expect to happen? What do you guys expect to happen here? People just been looking to force longs up here. Market moves in impulses and corrections. Trading in the middle of the move, sometimes you can get away with it. Sometimes you get a nice setup. Like for example right here, if there's a low time frame setup over here somewhere, it's fine. But trading after the move has happened and then expecting the same move to happen again, you're out of your mind. Even if you took shorts here, it would take a whole 24 hours just to get a little bit of what this move was. Just go back to your fundamentals. High up in the leg. If it's high up in the leg, then be patient and wait. Wait for price to have a correction. Set an alert somewhere. And then make a move off that, right? Let's go back to breakdowns. This setup here, 15-minute F-boss. That's the reason I took it, right? Took the F-boss because we're high up in the leg. What do you expect price to do? I'm not talking in hindsight because I'm talking on the trades I took. There's a breakdown on that too. And this lined up with the DXY gap as well. DXY gap is just cherry on the top, right? But just thinking about shit logically. Had a nice 15-minute setup. Took it. That setup took a lot longer because it was held through New York. Wasn't expecting too much through New York. Obviously, this corrected moves all New York. Asia opens, and we get some nice conditions. Even off this supply here. So just think about shit logically. Just stop trying to force shit. If you're coming in late, acknowledge what price has done during the day. And realize that whatever you're going to take from up here is probably going to be lower probability because it's going to be a corrective move. And don't treat it with the same energy and the same criteria that you treat something like this. Because price here is moving fast. It's an impulse. And now you're getting correction. And we're coming off a 4-hour demand. So the correction here is probably going to be slow. It's probably going to be short-lived than it was. Price corrects. News sends a wick down here. And back up we go. New high. New high put in. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, Char, or what? I know it's still going to go over some people's heads, but that's alright. Alright, cool. And if you don't want to, like if this time isn't working for you, then have a look at Euro USD. Because Euro USD is a lot better during New York. The conditions for AUD USD and what they are to Asia is what Euro USD is to New York. For example, over here, a little bit of consolidation, but that's throughout London. And then New York, you get these nice conditions over here. All of this is New York. That's great conditions to trade from, right? There'd be some nice setups on the lower time frame over there. That was on the Wednesday. But if AUD USD, if the timing and the conditions don't work for you, if you collected the data and you don't like the timing and the conditions, how most of the setups do come around that Asia period, have a look at Euro USD, because that's the other way. Yeah, they gave me purple trading. Yeah, it's not that bad. I haven't tried the other one, but so far with purple, it's not too bad. Which challenge are you going to do, Felix? And London for EU? Yeah, London for EU is not too bad, but like, to be honest, from what I had a look over here, chuck this on. Over here, they're about the same. 1-1 over here. New York, about the same. New York. London's better here. London's better here. London's better here. London's better here. New York's better here. London, New York. It's about the same, right? But very common theme here that, conditions for Euro USD, most of the time in Asia, it's corrective, which is understandable. So this is fine, right? Like this is pretty simple stuff. But let's say, you want to jump on. You jump on at 5 o'clock here, which is at the end of Tokyo. So you jump on at London, not a lot going on. Come back a bit later, get a nice setup throughout New York. Okay. Either one, bro, should be. I don't think it's too big of a deal. But for those that, you come on late, if you come on late into the markets around New York and London, probably better to have a look at EU. Because this is all, most of my setups in EU are during London. Yeah, that makes sense. London, New York, looks like it works well for what Euro USD is, right? And then having a look at over here, Asia's the biggest here of the day. London here, New York here, but that's because of the news. London, New York, Asia. So Asia's mixed into the equation a lot more for AUD USD compared to what Euro USD is. Only time where Asia really has nice conditions for Euro USD is probably one time over here. So your best chance, the better chances for you to actually have some nice conditions to trade where price isn't ranging, obviously just New York and London, right? You don't even need to collect data on that, but I'm sure your data would reflect it anyway. So if you do come onto the market late, for example, London, New York, then you might have to switch up your pairs and focus on EU a lot more. Because most of the time, it looks like the move for Euro USD happens in London and New York. Over here, pretty shitty day. Over here happens in New York. Nothing in Asia. Over here, consolidation. Over here happens in New York. Over here happens in London. New York was pretty shit here. So it's just simple stuff like this, right? Simple stuff like this. Does this make sense, chat? And sometimes I guess you'll get occasionally, on this day, Asia looks like it was the smoothest, and London and New York, horrible. But there was news during this time, so that makes sense. For the most part, when there's no news, it looks like there's actually some clean moves. But this will work better for your time zone. You can still use the same methods and the same concepts and whatnot, but I think timing is very important. And for what AUD USD is to me during Asia is what Euro USD might be for you guys during London and New York, which is why you guys might be a little bit more active during that time. Even for the people that live in Australia, I traded USD CHF a lot when I first got funded. Right? When I first got my first funding and I made my first 13k month, I was working during the day, so I was working during Asia, and I was trading London/New York, and there's no surprise for that, right? Look over here, you can pretty clearly see that London and New York are pretty dominant during that time period for USD CHF, right? We're getting a lot of movement, lots of liquidity, conditions look pretty good most of the time, right? Compared to Asia, obviously not a lot happens for USD CHF during Asia. Here, and here, smallest of the day, smallest moves of the day. Not a lot of moves. So, makes 100% complete sense that I switched from USD CHF to AUD USD, because now I have most of my day. I can have alerts, I can go on the charts when I need to, so I don't really have to trade one set session or two set sessions. I can just trade whenever the conditions are good. But here, I had to make do with what could work for my situation. And this is something that you're going to have to go through as well. I had to go through it. Couldn't trade Asia at all. I was too busy at work during the day. So, had to make do with this. Spreads were a little bit high as well. That's one of the reasons why I went from this to AUD USD. So, Carter, what's going on? So, hopefully this makes sense for you guys, chat. Everybody goes through it, but if you keep trying to force it and, you trade a pair like this and you try to force it during Asia, or you try to force it after a move or something like that, you're gonna be in for a rough couple of months. All right. Let's go through what we got going here. So when you say if you have time to trade conditions, but if you're fixed, pick your like I like the freedom of trading when I want to, but if you can only trade during a set time, then you're gonna have to collect data and at least make some observations. This pair is usually good during this time. Over the last couple of months, this is probably going to be my best bet while I'm working my job. That's what I had to do. That's the sacrifice I had to make. And you're probably going to have to do the same if you want to make a breakthrough. No other way about it. Alright, so price news came in on Wednesday. Obviously that pushed price up a little bit higher. Really just want to see if we respect the daily protected high. So we'll see how that goes. In terms of alerts, we're pretty close up to the protected high. It's just over here. That's good dig here. So I'm just going to set an alert up here. Approaching protected high, and if it starts to break down and head lower, that's fine. I can also play that. FX market sessions, that's what it's called. Lower on the 15-minute. Of course, I'm taking into consideration how we're priced. Obviously, we're priced big move up, right? Imagine if I held all the way from down here, chat. Imagine that. Had positions here as well on the top of AUD/USD, of course, because it's inversely correlated, but crazy, huh? Crazy. So I think that's what we're gonna rock. That's what I'm gonna rock with. See what price gives us next week. Let me chuck this over here for you guys. So masterclass notes, condition and timing. Hope today's explanation showed you guys how important time is. Time and understanding conditions and whatnot. Alright, let's just go on forex.com. So this is what we got. Nice breaker structure here. Nice breaker structure over here. So nice 15-minute over here. You're getting a correction. Something that's valid to me that I could consider is something like this. Wouldn't mind that at all. Playing the swing structure. Not really any other zones that I would consider over here. So if there's something that's valid with some nice inducement, it would be this. Let's see if I can go 2 for 2 with 15-minute zones in the last 2 weeks. Not gonna lie, you made something click for me. That's really good to hear. I hope you're not just saying that, but a lot of people say that and then they just fucking do the same shit over and over. It's fucking sad. But I think this is what I'm going to be focused on. So, alert here. Approaching demand on the 15-minute. Is it? No, it's not. Oh, maybe it is. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. Close, but definitely close, but it's not. There's not really anything else you'd probably consider anyway. So we'll do that, and if we start to track higher, let's just have a load up here, see what we get. If it starts heading higher, I'll probably look for something on the lower time frame. But I'm pretty happy with that. 15-minute zone looks right within swing structure. Impulse up, having our correction. I know you're considering something over here, but if this protected high gets taken out, then that's a break of structure, right? That's structure changing from bearish to bullish. So I'm not sure if you want to consider supply zones over here in the middle of the leg when structure's changing and we're getting new highs put in. It just depends on your criteria. Alright. See what we got cooking next week. Monday, nothing. Quiet. Tuesday looks quiet as well. Wednesday. So probably going to be a slow start to the week. Keep that in mind. FOMC on the Thursday. Probably not going to trade on. I'm done for the month. But if I was going to trade next week, I probably would ignore Thursday because of all that news. Friday, Doesn't look too bad either. Whole week looks pretty doable, chat. Just be mindful of the FOMC. Doesn't look too bad at all. Alright, chat. I think we're going to wrap it up. Hopefully today made sense. Hopefully it widened your eyes as well. And that if if you're coming in late every single day and you're coming in around London, New York, most of the time that move on AUD USD has happened. So that's probably not going to be your go-to. Otherwise you're going to be stuck trading the correction and you're going to be stuck fucking up. So it's either you wait, set your alerts, come back the next day, or you go for a pair that's a little bit more suited to your timing. I'm going to take a look at indices again because I need to have a look at this one over here, because obviously this moves during New York and London, right? So I might open up what do you think, chat? Take some data on this, maybe like 100 or something. Give it a try. It's pretty straightforward because all of these moves happen in New York and London. I'm nearly better, bro. I'm alright. I'm getting better. Thoughts on the demand wick we're in? All comes down to the 15-minute, bro. I want to see what the 15-minute gives us. But I think I might open up another personal account for this. Because Asia, you get your thing. But if you look here, this is 15-minute, but actually get some decent moves. And Asia's always the minority over here. Always. On US 100. So it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting, chat. Might have to have a US 100 account going just for this. And we'll see how this treats us. Because I don't want to touch AU throughout New York. So I might give this a try, chat. Start on a small account and grow it up. But I'll probably take a little bit more data on this first. But it's active during New York and London, so for anyone that likes indices, probably one to consider, right? Especially if you're a New York and London person and that's what you're going to make do with. I reckon this will be very nice for you guys. Even continuation wise, it's not too bad. Can you get a lot going over here? But I think we'll wrap it up, chat. I'm going to keep looking into this one more. I'll keep you boys updated on it. Because I don't really like trading AUD and AU during that London and New York, so maybe this will be something we can substitute. So we'll see how that goes. But we'll wrap it up, chat. I'll catch you boys on the Wednesday live. Have a good week. And enjoy the rest of your night / morning, wherever you are, alright? Make sure you guys just understand what I was talking about today. Because, timing beats everything, as well as conditions. And I know how it feels. It sucks you miss out on the move, but if that's constantly happening every day and you're getting fucked afterwards, then it's happening for a reason. You're just out of sync with the time. You're coming in after the move and you're trying to trade, so probably look at something else where you can be positioned to be looking at something before the move actually happens. So, alright boys, W Aldion, W Digger, W Brody. Thank you Felix, you too bro. Thank you Percy. All good Twisty. Enjoy the rest of your day boys. Hopefully you guys got some insight or learnt one thing off today's live. And my mouse is dead. Nice. Thank you, Ben Shah. Thank you, Christian. Gonna look at this US 100 source on the personal. Let's see how this one goes. Yeah, my mouse is fucking frozen, boys. No good. Right at the end. Alright boys, I'll catch you, alright?